Singaporeans have a special bond with the flavours of home. And it's my passion to spark the connection with every meal I make. I'm Robin Ho, the executive chef of the Privé Group. I run 13 restaurants and supervise over 50 chefs. This August, I'm leaving behind the comforts of Singapore to travel across 4 countries. I'm going to remote places where the guides don't take you, to meet 4 adventurous Singaporeans.
โครงการของเราจะทำให้เด็กมีสิ่งแวดล้อมที่ปลอดภัยที่นี่เพื่อที่จะได้รับการบำบัดและการศึกษาที่ดี
On Libaran Island, you have the green turtle as well as the hawksbill.
Once I started this work,
You never look back?
I never look back.
At the end of each journey, I will surprise them with a classic Singaporean dish to replenish their hearts with a taste of home. In this episode, I'm traveling to India, one of the most diverse countries in the world, with thousands of different ethnicities. Two flights and almost 4,000 kilometers later, I've arrived in Gorakhpur, high in the northern tip of India's Uttar Pradesh state. This region is amongst India's most backward, with minimal power supply in many villages, poor roads and rampant poverty. When I came to this part of India, Gorakhpur, everything was different. Cows were just roaming on the street. It was chaotic as well. A lot of cars passing. The road was dusty. The village I'm headed towards is 2 hours from the nearest airport of Gorakhpur and located in a remote rural area. I'm here to meet Ravi Rai, a Singaporean by birth. Hello. Hello, hi. You know Uncle Ravi? Yeah. Where? Ah, Papa.
How are you?
Hi. Robin from Singapore. How are you doing? Are these all your children? There's so many of them. How many children do you have here?
At this center, we have about 25, but we have 4 centers, so in total, there are about 200 children.
Wow. 20 years ago, Ravi left Singapore with his entire life savings of nearly $400,000. He returned to his ancestral home in Fasad village and started the organization Children of Mother Earth, or COME. COME rescues and rehabilitates poor children who are abandoned, orphaned and lost. It provides them with shelter, education and vocational skills, as well as looking after all their needs. It says humanity is our religion, earth is our motherland. That's a beautiful line. Did you come up with that?
Religion is a very sensitive issue in this area. So that children from any region, if they come here for help, they can be given help. Humanity means helping each other.
That's right.
And that should be the real way of living. And this whole earth is like one planet, and we all brothers and sisters, we help each other. This picture is of my father. He was my inspiration. He always encouraged me to help my friends who were from the poor community. Whatever I am today is because of him.
Ravi converted the entire second floor of his ancestral home to house underprivileged children.
This is our boarding facility, and they live here till the age of 10. After that, depending on their need, we transfer them to other centers.
Some of the children come from poor or single-parent families. Others are orphans, rescued from railway stations and the streets. If left on their own, they would face a lifetime of poverty, or worse, become victims of child trafficking and substance abuse. So Ravi, 20 years ago you started COME. How did it all begin?
It was very clear to me in my teens that I will be doing this. This is the work which appeals me. Once I started this work,
You never look back?
I never look back, and I find, my life more meaningful here.
Now Ravi's organization has 4 centers across India, and they have rescued and provided education and a home to over 2,000 children.
There were challenges when I expanded the organization. I had enough money to run this place, but when it expanded to Gorakhpur, Lucknow, and then Delhi, all my fixed deposit was gone. There were times when I felt like, whether I will be able to run it or not. Finally, I realized that I'm just a medium. Some forces are helping me, and that's how things are happening.
Hey Ravi,
Hey, I'm just done.
so this is the place you're going to be spending the night?
Yeah. This is how I sleep at night, especially in the summers. I just need the mosquito net, which protects me from the mosquito and from the bugs. And I sleep in the centers, wherever I go. So that gives me an opportunity to spend more time with the children to understand, their problems and what they're going through. So today luckily it's breezy and the stars are shining up there. I hope you will have a good rest.
Actually, I can't wait to sleep in one of those. The mosquito net and the view of the stars. This is first class. Thank you for this experience. Right, good night, Ravi.
Good night.
Today is an important day for some of the children with single parents. Their mothers will be visiting them. They see their children only once a month.
I realized that most of them are single mothers. They are daily wage workers. And I noticed a little girl, she was all sad. I kind of felt that maybe her parents didn't come. She was sitting all alone and she started to cry. I approached her, trying to calm her down. I'm in tears myself. I can feel it, her sadness. I remember those times when I miss my family. So I'm trying to calm her down as well myself. Trying to have body language so that at least she try to understand what's going on, trying to calm her down. Comfort her and telling her probably her mother is busy today and not able to visit her. But all right, we got your friends here. We got Papa here.
For the children whose parents did not come, Ravi has promised to take them to visit their mothers in Gorakhpur city the next day.
ये देखो अभी पापा तुमको दिखाएंगे किसी को देखोगे तो
Krishna's mother is disabled and she wasn't able to visit him. So Ravi has brought him to Gorakhpur to visit her.
There was so much love, although the mother was in a very difficult situation. It was a very powerful moment for me.
I'm Robin Ho, and I'm on a mission to bring a taste of home to a Singaporean who has dedicated the last 20 years to improving the lives of poor and destitute children in northern India. Today, Ravi is taking one of his charges to visit his family in Gorakhpur city. Gopal's entire family is extremely poor and begs for a living. Begging gives them less than $2 a day. Barely enough to stay alive.
देखो तुम्हारा भाई है.
So Ravi, this is the home.
Yeah, there's the mother.
This is not much of a house. It's basically a shelter.
It's just some plastic sheets
Yes.
and some bamboo, and that also maybe some authority will come and chase them.
Yeah, and there's so much rubbish around. Hygiene is really a problem here. The little boy had 2 other siblings who were still begging in the railway stations. They look completely different. They were all dirty compared to the boy that was living in Ravi's home. So Ravi tried to convince the other boys to come to the home so that he could provide them with the education and shelter. And I also saw their brother trying to ask, come. But I think the brothers were kind of stopped by their parents because they needed them to continue to beg. And maybe one day, hopefully, when they see their brothers doing well, maybe they'll come to Ravi and ask for help.
Like Gopal, many of the children that Ravi rescues are from the Goropo railway station. They are among up to 100,000 lost and runaway children, arriving at India's main railway stations every year. Most of them are forced to beg or rag pig to survive.
So Ravi, where do these children come from?
Mostly they come from the villages, and the people in the village are relatively poor. So whenever there is some kind of problem the family is facing, they come to the cities, so they end up at the railway station. A lot of traffickers are here who can traffic the children, There are some older boys, who have some connection with some criminals, So they do pickpocketing, stealing, snatching.
What about drugs? Are there any problems that we face?
There is not a heavy abuse of drugs here, like hashish and cocaine, but they do sniffing,
Although the Indian government has banned the sale of glue to children, that hasn't stopped them from chasing a high to escape their dismal lives.
क्या कर रहे हो जी तुम लोग? हाँ? सुलेसन पी रहे हो? अच्छा। अरे ये सब क्या तुम लोग बकवास कर पीते हो? कितने का मिलता है?
50 रुपया, 70 रुपया, 60 रुपया।
देखें?
Strong.
Yeah, very strong. Yeah.
And this is easily accessible.
Easily as well, it's very cheap. Once they are taking this on the railway station, they don't care about the police. They can, beat everyone.
These kids, if they ever want to come to your shelter, how do you deal with them?
I'm not very strict with them so that they start loving the place, and then slowly we'll keep on counseling them. And there's a doctor who also helps me. It takes more than a month, to get them out of this addiction.
Looking at these kids, they're so young. They're tempted into this world where everything is so easily accessible and they go into glue sniffing. It saddens me a lot.
Right across the railway tracks, an old railway shed is the Goropo Centre of Kham, where the older boys study and live. It is named Apna Ghar.
Apna Ghar means our home in Hindi, and the name was given by the children. They were saying that, many times police or people ask, where are you all going? So we'll say that we are going to our home. We are going to Apna Ghar.
So today Ravi brought me to a village called Sakuruna. He's brought me to a home, which is a home of one of his boys, Harryom. His mother contacted with HIV when he was just 6 years old. Today he's 19 years old. And he's a bright young gentleman, very independent as I met him. So Harryom, what are your plans?
This year I might complete diploma, civil engineer. I'm looking for a job.
Ravi has helped fund a home for Harryom's mother, as well as tending to a medical treatment.
So Ravi's organization does not just take care of kids that come to his home. He looks after the family, and today it's really turned out well, and I'm sure that he's a proud papa, as they call him.
The next day, Ravi hears from his staff that a young runaway boy has turned up at the Goropo railway station.
You can stand here and you can watch. क्या दिमाग में बात हो रही है? घर जीवा ठीक बा. I just tried to find out why is he here on the station, and he told me his story that his father beat him. That's why he ran away from home. There are many reasons why children run away from home. Sometimes their parents beat them. Sometimes they are bullied by, their elder siblings. Right. Sometimes they don't want to study, for that reason they run. Our priority first is, to reunite the children, because I feel like, their parents must be worried, they must be looking for them. Or sometimes even the parents have abandoned them. I want to know where they come from, so that in the future, if the child want to go, so we know the address.
So Ravi, where are we going now?
We are going to his place, Gopalganj district, which is in Bihar,
Okay.
which is also one of the backward and poorest state of India.
And how far is this place?
I guess it is about 100 kilometers from this place.
I've come to northern India to meet Ravi Rai, a Singaporean who runs Children of Mother Earth. It is a centre that supports and rescues destitute children. Today, we are on the way to look for the family of Mohan, a runaway child who had turned up at the Goropo railway station.
He's quite young, and I noticed also some of the kids are very young. How do you even know where they came from?
They give me some kind of clue, some name of their home district or some village or some small bazaar, and from there I try to trace the address.
Okay.
Yeah. In this case, whatever name he's telling, we're not able to trace on the internet.
Right.
So we have no choice but to take a car and go to the district. From there we'll check with the local people.
Right. So how far roughly are we off the journey now?
We just started. Patience.
Knowing only the name of the district, we're driving around the area, hoping that little Mohan will recognize a familiar landmark. But after 2 hours, I'm starting to lose hope.
He's not very sure.
Okay.
He's saying that when he was a kid, maybe he have passed this way.
It's nearly dusk, and finally Mohan spots something familiar.
यही है, पहचान रहे हो? आओ बेटा, आओ. Come, Robin.
I bring this for him.
Yeah. डरो मत अब, आराम से. आओ. ये घर है ना? हाँ.
As we approach the family where the house was, first it was anger, surprise, what's going on, who are these people, coming to our village, and then it became sadness. But eventually I think love took over. There was some forgiveness.
ये तो जानते रह लोग जैसे लड़का अगर भाग जाना शहर में चल जाते सब बेच देना कुल ले जाके फैक्ट्री में बंद कर देना हाथ गोड़ काट के भीख मांगवा लेते ये कुल नहीं दिमाग.
I'm blessed to actually be on this journey with Ravi. Despite missing lunch and hungry, thirsty, we carried on without fail. And it is that thing I admire so much of Ravi. And imagine he's been doing 20 years, and this is not just one stop.
On the way back from the village, we stopped for our first meal of the day at the Highway Inn or Dhaba. It's been an exciting day for me, but it's just another day at work for Ravi.
In the beginning, when I came in 1998 and I was going on the railway stations talking to the children, many times the cops came and I was detained in the police station. They were suspecting that I'm a trafficker. So I had challenges that time. But it was my passion and I enjoyed the journey.
This is really good.
It's my final day in India, and the children are rehearsing for their performance at India's upcoming Independence Day celebrations. Ravi's enthusiasm is infectious, and I joined in. Back in Ravi's ancestral home, he tells me more about his dreams for the future.
I'm planning to have our own school where beside academic education we can give vocational trainings like what we have in Singapore. This academy which we have named the Come Academy.
So over the past few days, I witnessed your passion towards the children, towards this whole organization and your work. So I'm going to show you my side of my passion now, and it's all about food. I'm going to cook you a Singapore dish today, and you and the children, everybody will get to enjoy this. Hey! More syrup. Hello? Bhuk lagi hai? Okay. Ravi, do you recognize this dish?
Is it roja?
It is rojak, Indian rojak.
Hey, how did you make here?
So I looked at your kitchen and I tried to scramble some stuff and put my own interpretation to this dish.
Can't wait.
What do you think? You like it? All right. Okay, children, let's go. Oh. This is the second drink. Let me serve Papa first. Okay, let's cheers and then after we'll bring some more for the kids.
Oh, Bandung.
Yes, you recognize. Not too bad for a Singaporean who's been away for 20 years.
Wow. Exactly the same like Singapore.
You know, it's my favorite drink. The fondest moment for me will have to be at the end of the whole cooking experience. He said, I've got a surprise for you. I wasn't expecting anything at all. The kids closed my eyes. When I opened my eyes, I was very surprised. Wow. Is that for me? Yeah, that's lovely. It was a traditional Indian costume. It was beautiful. They asked me to put it on. All the kids came running towards me, hugged me. It was such a moment.
You look like an Indian prince.
Thank you very much. Thank
All
you.
right, man. Great, great, great.
So much. Thank you so much for this pleasant surprise. In Singapore, we're so spoiled for everything. We buy things, we have a lot of food wastage. If we start sharing our things, like what Ravi does, you know, sharing his love, sharing his finance, and whatever he has, giving it to everyone, I think it would be a very beautiful world.